Hello everyone, welcome to ClearIAS. In this video, we will be discussing about fundamental duties. I am Ujjwala Pulla, an educator at ClearIAS. Introduction. The fundamental duties were initially not a part of the Constitution. They were added in the Constitution through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Through this act, 10 fundamental duties were added. Later on, one more duty was added in 2002 through the 86th Constitutional Amendment Act. They form the Part 4A of the Constitution and are specified in the Article 51A. They are included in the Constitution based on the recommendations of the Swaran Singh Committee. The idea of fundamental duties is borrowed from the Soviet Constitution. So why is it in news now? Why are we discussing fundamental duties? A writ petition has been filed with the Supreme Court seeking the enforcement of fundamental duties. The petition was filed by Advocate Durga Dutt. He argues that flouting of fundamental duties by the people is resulting in the violation of the fundamental rights of other citizens. So what he says is, many high-ranking officials and officers of law are flouting these fundamental duties, thereby resulting in the violation of the fundamental rights of other people. The petition argues that the citizens have a duty to uphold the ideals of the country and to contribute to its growth and betterment. It also quotes Bhagavad Gita and refers to the constitution of the former USSR. The constitution of the former USSR has given equal importance to both rights and duties. In Bhagavad Gita, we know that Lord Sri Krishna explained the importance of duty to Arjuna. So what the petitioner says is that when the citizens are enjoying their rights, they have this responsibility to fulfill their duties towards the nation. The Supreme Court has now issued notices to the center and the states regarding this issue. So we have seen that fundamental duties have been added to the constitution based on the recommendations of Swaran Singh Committee. So let us see what were those recommendations. Swaran Singh Committee recommended 8 fundamental duties. However, the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act included 10 duties. Few suggestions of the committee were not included in the constitution. They are imposition of penalty or punishment by the Parliament for non-compliance with or refusal to perform any of the duties. No such law shall be called in question in any court on the ground of infringement of fundamental rights or in being repugnant to any other provision of the Constitution. Duty to pay taxes shall also be included in the list of fundamental duties. Fundamental duties. So what are the 11 fundamental duties in the Constitution now? It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem. To cherish and follow the noble ideals which inspired our national struggle for freedom. To uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India. To defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so. To promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women. To value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture. To protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife and to have compassion for living creatures. To develop the scientific temper, humanism and the spirit of inquiry and reform. To safeguard public property and to abjure violence. To strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. To provide opportunities for education to his child or ward between the age of 6 to 14 years. Features. The fundamental duties are applicable only to the citizens and do not extend to the foreigners, whereas few of the fundamental rights are also applicable to the foreigners. They are non-justiciable in nature, that is, they are not legally enforceable by the courts for their violation. That is, violation of the fundamental duties is not punishable. They stand as a codification of the values which are already ingrained in Indian culture, religions, and practices. So, as we have seen, few of the fundamental duties like protecting the dignity of women, protecting the environment, and striving to achieve common brotherhood are all the values which are already ingrained and are a part of our culture and practices. Criticism. Few of the important duties like paying of taxes, family planning, etc. are not covered in the list. The duties are described in a vague manner and are thus difficult to be understood by a common man. For example, the terms like scientific temper are not easily understood. The non-justiciable nature of the duties is also criticized. When there is no punishment for the violation of fundamental duties, why will someone follow them? The inclusion as an attachment to the Part 4 along with the DPSP, that is Directive Principles of the State Policy, is also criticized. This has reduced their value. Significance. They serve as a reminder to the citizens of the country that along with the rights which they enjoy, they also have to fulfill some duties. They serve as a warning to the antisocial activities. They help the courts in examining the constitutional validity of a law. They can be enforced by a law, that is, the Parliament can make a law for the enforcement of any fundamental duty. Burma Committee. In 1999, Burma Committee identified some legal provisions for the implementation of few fundamental duties. They are the Prevention of Insults to National Honours Act 1971, which prevents disrespect to the Constitution, the national flag and the national anthem. The various criminal laws providing punishments for encouraging enmity between different sections of the people. The Protection of Civil Rights Act 1953, which prescribes punishments for offences concerning caste and religion. The Representation of Peoples Act of 1951, which provides for disqualification of members of parliament or state legislature for indulging in corrupt practices. The Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 prohibits the trade in rare and endangered species. The Forest Conservation Act of 1980 checks the practice of indiscriminate deforestation. SC's views. So what are the views of Supreme Court regarding fundamental duties? In the Ranganath Mishra versus Union of India and others case of 2003, the Supreme Court stresses the need for enacting of suitable legislations for the implementation of various fundamental duties. This case has also been mentioned in the writ petition about which we have previously discussed. The court also suggested that the recommendations of Verma Committee be implemented at the earliest. The judgment contends that fundamental duties should be enforced not only by legal sanctions but also by social sanctions. Another important case regarding fundamental duties is the AIMS Student Union versus AIMS case, in which the Supreme Court has held that fundamental duties are as important as fundamental rights. So now that the Supreme Court has sent notices to the center and the states, we have to wait and see how will the government respond to these notices and what events will unfold in the future. So that's all for now. Thank you and please subscribe to our channel ClearIAS.